Hello everyone, TheSenpaiCode here. So for today's episode, I've actually went ahead and did quite a bit. So this episode will be going over how to actually get a game over sound. So the music's going to start. When we die, it's actually going to change. It's going to stop this music, play a different song. So that game over comes on. And then when we hit respawn, we actually respawn. The music will start playing again for this level. And then if we die again, it'll keep looping. So I die again, the music plays. So there is one issue. If I hit respawn, it will respawn and that song will play and this one will actually start going. So I will actually have to create a timer that will actually, I want to fade the buttons in or pop the buttons in after the sound effect is done. Something else is for the gems. When we actually collect the gems itself, after we collect all the gems in the level, we will transfer to the next level. So let's go over some of these scripts now and how to implement them. So here's all the scripts that I have changed. So let's go over the blue gem since it's the easiest, and let's go over the gems itself and how to actually transfer to the next level. So for the gems, the only thing that I've changed with is the find object of type, and then I put points per level, and I made a new script called points per level. Dot blue gem, and then I'm calling the blue gem function in points per level. And points per level is where we're going to be holding all of the gem count. So if we make a yellow gem and stuff, we'll actually put the how much it's worth in the points per level. And the reason I did that is because each level we're going to have a gem amount on level, and when they collect that amount, so we can actually enter it here. So right now I have 8 points worth of gems, so I just put 8 points. And this function, this points per level, is actually calling, okay, gems, if gems amount equals the amount, then do the effect, which is transfer to the level. We can add stuff in later on to do like open a portal or something, and then I'll get to the portal, then they'll go to the next level. We can easily do something like that, but that's basically what that script is. So that's the only thing I changed. I used to have the gems plus 1 equals 1. Well, for the blue gem it was 5 at the end of here. Same with the red and the green script. I also did that, except I put the for the red gem I put red gem, for the green gem I put green gem, and it calls these functions here. So in our character we used to have all of this data. The public int gems equals the public gem amount. We never had that. I added that, and that's the public int on the right here that we'll be calling. So the GUI style and everything is the same. The only thing that's different is this part of the code, and it's if gems equals gem amount. So if the gems equals, when we collect them, equals this amount, and it's going to be adding them all up when we collect them, then scene manager dot load scene. And I believe we had that in the character 2, or I might have added that in, which is the Unity scene manager, which calls it to load the scenes. So right now I just had that dungeon level, or that level that you just seen created, so I just load that scene. But when we load the levels, we want to actually, I'm going to actually delete this scene, and I'm actually going to uncomment this out. So what this is going to do, the scene manager dot load scene, scene manager dot get active scene, is it's going to say, okay, this is level 1, and then it's going to go to the build index when we build the game, and it's going to say, okay, +1, so it's going to load level 2. So then it's going to go and it's going to check. So when we have this on level 2 here, the gem amount, it reaches the level 2, it's going to add +1 on, so it's going to go to level 3, and then so on to level 4, level 5, and that's how it's going to be able to tell to load the next level. And so that's all that I have. Like I said, if we want to, we can add, and I do want to add later on, copy, and I do want to add public void yellow gem later on, and the yellow gem will be, say, 10 or something, or 15 points. And that way people don't really know how many gems are actually out there to collect around the world or around the level. So they'll have to find all the gems. They might be hidden down in wells, they might be hidden behind waterfalls, over an edge or something like that. So that's all for point per level. So yeah, this is calling the gems on the mount, and then that goes over the scripts that we just went over, is what the character did. And what you do is you just attach it onto the gem amount on level. So all you do is you go to game object, create an empty game object, call it gems amount on level, attach it, and it'll give you that. Drag and drop it into make a prefab, and then on your next level, drag and drop it on, and then change the amount. So I actually want to have 15 gems or 10 gems on the first level. And then on the next level, I want to have 25 gems. And then on the next level, I want to have 35 or 50 gems. And then so on and so on. So they have to collect more gems per level as they go. And it's actually going to get harder. There's going to be more traps. There's going to be more enemies. Different things that may kill them. And it will get difficult. But yeah, you just drag and drop that on. And so that's all I changed in character 2. And so what this is telling is game object dot find object with tag gems on level. Oh, and for this I gave it a tag. So what you gotta do is just go add tag, and then hit the plus, and then type in gems amount on level. Go from there. I also created a panel end game. So for this end game, what we have for the respawn and for the GUI, the game over GUI that we have, the respawn in the menu that you saw when we hit, I also gave it panel end game tag. So let's do the same thing, add a tag, then just select the tag. And if you want, you can also create another game object. We already have level music, so just create another one just like we did with level music, call it game over music. Then go ahead and hit add component, go down to audio, and add an audio source to it. Then you'll have to find whatever game over music you want to use, if it's going to be the Final Fantasy or whatever. I just went on YouTube, I searched non-copyright game over music, and I found that laugh. There was actually 2 different laughs in the same clip, so I had to put it in Audacity, chop it, and then move one over to the audio, which is the game over, and then you just drag and drop it into there. Then go ahead and create another game object, create empty, and call it music player. Music player is what's going to actually be playing the music, different music that we have. So we'll actually have level 2 music, level 3, everything. This will be playing all the music for all the levels. So what you do next is just go to scripts, your script folder, right click, create another C# script, and call that one sound effects with no space, just sound effects like I have it right down here. And then go ahead and open that up. So sound effects. So sound effects is going to be pretty easy. It's going to have a public audio source, level music, and then a public audio source death song. So for your music player, you don't need to add a audio source. It will actually play it through the game object itself. So when we actually get into putting everything in, we'll put the level music. So this will be level 1. We'll just drag and drop the level 1 music object, game object, into level music, and then I'll actually name this level 1. And then the game over music, just drag and drop it into the death song, which we can change to whatever name we want later on. I just put it like that just to get the script kind of done. Next we have a public bool level song equals true, and the public bool death song equals false. So what this is going to tell when we get into this is we want one to turn to true and one to turn to false. So when death song's playing, we want the level song to turn to false and then it to turn this on. These are going to switch back and forth. So nothing in the void start, nothing in the void update, and I made a public void level music. So basically what this is saying is level song equals true, death song equals false, level music dot play. So when you say level music dot play, it plays the music that's supposed to, which is going to be the level song, which is the one that's true. So public void death sound This is the next thing that I created, and it says if level music is playing, level song equals false. So it's turning off the level, it's turning this to false. Bool, so it's going to flick this off, and then it's going to say level music stop. So it's going to stop the level music, and then if def song is playing and def song equals false, play the def song equals true. So it's going to turn the bool here to true, and this one is going to be false because it says false here, so it's going to be false, and it's going to play the def song. Now, how do we actually implement this in the game? This tells this to turn this on, turn this off, but how does it know when to call the def song? And that's what we're going to get into right now. So for the player health, so call this and to call the other functions. And something else that I added is when we die now, we actually don't move the character. Everything's paused, the animation's paused, and we can actually, I don't know if I want to actually have the animation paused or not. So I can actually just cross those out, and we'll get to that here in a second. Public bool is dead equals false. So I added this public bool here, and this is what's going to tell us, is death true or is it false? And if it's true, then do something. If it's false, don't do anything. So I added public void alive. I haven't put anything in here yet. So here's where public void dead comes in. If is dead, so if the bool is true, then respawn.gameObject.setActive false. Find object of type sound effects. So this is where it's calling the death sound. So find the sound effects script being here, find the death sound, and then play this, and then it will play the death sound. And that's what that is doing. And that's how we implement this. And then find object of type GameManager.camera after death. And this is where we're actually pausing the camera. We're pausing the animation, which is right here. Camera.getComponent advanced camera. We're calling the advanced camera, and we're telling it to make it false. And then we're pausing time, just like we did with the pause menu. And this is like what we're doing with the pause menu too, with the advanced camera. We're basically calling the pause, but we're only calling some functions in the pause. The audio listener, we're not turning it off. We're not putting the pause screen up. Something else I did was public void camera alive, and this is when when they come alive, then we're going to say to turn it true for the camera script and to unpause the animations, and this timescale is what pauses the animation. So if we don't want the animations paused, which I don't think I will have, we'll just comment that out later on, but I'll just keep everything the same for now. And then game over equals false, so the game over will equal false, so put him to alive, and we'll get into that here in a second too. And these are the only two lines that I've added in the game manager so far. I've took out the else scripts parts of the end game and the GUI because they don't do anything. They were just sitting there, and I was actually not going to change those, so I just took them out. So that's something else that I removed. This is for that script, the game manager. So player health is dead, and then respawn. So respawn is dead equals true. Find object of type game manager end game. And then also find dead, and dead is right here. So it's going to find this function within the script itself. So it's going to go through this, and then it's going to do that end game that we had just went through, that we created before. Something else that I did is public void selected continue. So selected continue is dead equals false, which I believe, yeah, it should turn that bool off here. And then respawn target dot transform dot position equals respawn location, and current health equals max health. So it's just respawn like normal. And then here's where we will call the live function, and I have it commented out because I have nothing in there, and I don't know if I'm going to be using it or not. That's all that I have done, I believe. Yes, that's all that I've done in the player health. So let's go ahead and go over the we actually don't need this open anymore. The over menu. So when it gets into the game over, when they click, so here's what I did for this. I've took out a lot of stuff, I believe, from here, and I actually just added for the public void respawn. So when they click respawn, it's going to respawn the target.game object active true. So the target, which is what we had drag and drop the player, will be set to true then. He will be visible instead of unvisible. Visible, I guess I should say. Find object of type, player health, selected continue, so it's going to find that player health script and go into the selected continue, and then it's also going to find the game object of type, sound effects, level music, and it's going to start playing the level music again, and that's where the level music is going to actually start playing. And then also find object of type, game manager, camera live, and that's where we're calling the camera live to turn the camera, to turn the animation and everything back on. And game object set active false. Let's just go over a couple of these right here. Start with the music player. Here's the music player. So when we hit play, if you watch the right here, here's what I mean by the music is going to play. So the level of music's playing. I die. Here in a second. Boom, I'm dead. It switches to death song, and so this is true, this is false. I hit this is false, this is true. So all the scripts are kind of going in a life of circle, I guess you can say. So the character itself, the player, is dead. So you can see these are public, and the reason why I made them public is so that I can call with them on different scripts. So is dead equals true, and is dead equals false. So if you have these public, you can also see if these are turning on or off when you do your scripts. If they're not turning on, then you know something's going on. So actually, if you run through this once and this stays on, then you know it's a problem with the is dead bool, turn it on, so then you can actually troubleshoot it that way. You can put your debugs. Same with the music player. If these both stay on or something like that, or one's turning on, one's turning off, then you can actually troubleshoot it that way. Yeah, so that's some stuff that I've been working on. Hopefully this helps you guys. I will be doing, like I said, the blink. I actually have a list of stuff right here. Let me just pull it up, what I want to do. So timer on the game over buttons, I want them to fade in or fade out or wait for the audio or the sounds. I want to add a save options so that people can actually save it, or have it save when they go to the different levels, have it automatically saved there. So making the scripts wait for the button click and then playing an audio file. So what I mean by that is when we click the buttons, have a sound effect play. So we'll click the buttons and you'll hear like a click, or you hear something. Let the player know that the button has been clicked also. And then stop all animations, question mark, because if you watch this when we actually die now, previously we didn't have the animate. We had the character actually respawn or be able to actually move the camera and everything too. So now when we actually die, if I actually move, the camera is not actually moving, and the animations, the gems and everything are paused. Before we were able to move the camera and stuff. So I went ahead and fixed that. And that's all for this episode. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the description down below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I'll try to help you guys out. I'm not going to be posting any more of these scripts until the game is actually done. The reason why is I'm updating all these scripts so much. It's not really worth uploading constantly with all the changes that I'm going to be making to the script, and then having to rechange everything. It's just I don't really see a point to doing it. So just feel free to pause the video at the different sections and copy out the code. And then after this series is done, then I'll post the complete scripts. I also break them down into some parts for different videos too, as the script is completed as needed. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Leave a like. Yeah, see you guys next time.
The fire burns as the feelings start. I build a wall around my heart, but you're breaking